Picture this. The tango music drifts through the narrow streets of San Telmo. The smell of grilled steak fills the air, and the city of Buenos Aires glows in that late afternoon light that seems made for romance and rebellion. It feels alive, passionate, and poetic. But look closer, and you'll find something else pulsing beneath the surface. Buenos Aires is a city obsessed with rituals. Some are beautiful, some are strange. Some are so deeply rooted in its history that locals don't even question them anymore. Let's start with something that seems simple but is almost sacred in Argentina: mate. To an outsider, it's just a cup of bitter green tea, but to a porteño, it's a ritual of connection. It begins with the gourd, carefully filled with yerba leaves, then hot water poured just right, never boiling, never careless. The first sip is always the strongest, sometimes bitter enough to make your eyes water. But you pass it, hand to hand, in a circle. You don't say thank you after your turn unless you're done drinking. You never stir the bombilla straw. And you never, ever pour your own mate unless you're the designated cebador, the one serving everyone. It's part meditation, part conversation, and entirely about community. You can see people sharing mate everywhere, in parks, on street corners, during protests, or at football matches. It's not about caffeine, it's about belonging. But if you want to see Buenos Aires at its most intense, you need to witness another ritual, one that defines the city's spirit more than any drink ever could: football, or as they call it, football. And not just any game. We're talking about the Super Clásico, the match between Boca Juniors and River Plate. When these two teams meet, the entire city stops breathing. Streets empty, businesses close, families split down the middle. Fans perform their own wild pre-game rituals, painting their faces, waving flags, lighting smoke bombs, singing songs that have been passed down for generations. Some even wear lucky socks or refuse to shave until their team wins. It's loud, chaotic, and almost spiritual. Inside La Bombonera, Boca's famous stadium, the stands literally shake. People say it's the closest thing to a religious experience without stepping inside a church. And speaking of religion, Buenos Aires has its own unofficial saints. One of the strangest and most beloved is Gauchito Gil, a folk hero who was a kind of Robin Hood of the Pampas. Legend says he was a soldier who deserted the army, was captured, and before being executed, predicted his executioner's son would fall ill, and that only praying to him would save the boy. When the prophecy came true, people began worshiping Gauchito Gil as a protector. Drive anywhere in Argentina today, and you'll see little red shrines by the road. Red flags fluttering, bottles of wine, ribbons, photos. In Buenos Aires, drivers honk when passing his altars, asking for safe travels. It's not part of official religion. It's something older, more personal, a mix of faith, rebellion, and gratitude. But he's not the only folk saint who rules the streets. There's also Difunta Correa, a woman who supposedly died crossing the desert with her baby, who survived nursing from her even after her death. Her shrines, covered in water bottles, dot the highways as people leave offerings for luck and miracles. In Buenos Aires, these roadside rituals have become part of daily life, a strange mix of Catholicism and superstition that says a lot about how this city blends faith and folklore into something uniquely its own. Then there's the city's deep obsession with the dead. Nowhere is that more visible than in La Recoleta Cemetery, a labyrinth of marble tombs and sculptures that look like a miniature city of ghosts. People visit not just to mourn, but to tell stories. There's the legend of Rufina Cambaceres, the young socialite who was buried alive after being mistaken for dead. When her coffin was reopened, they found scratches inside the lid. Some say her spirit still walks the pathways in a white dress. Or the story of Liliana Crociati, a 26-year-old who died on her honeymoon. Her parents built a Gothic tomb for her with a statue of her holding her dog. Locals leave flowers and touch the dog's bronze paw for good luck. To tourists, it's eerie. To locals, it's just Buenos Aires, a place where even death is part of the conversation. But the city's strangest traditions don't end in cemeteries. Let's talk about New Year's Eve. While most people around the world set off fireworks, Porteños tear up old calendars, office papers, even notebooks, and throw the pieces out of their windows like confetti. It's called tirar papeles, and it symbolizes getting rid of the past before stepping into a new year. Streets fill with white paper like it's snowing in the middle of summer. It's chaotic, cleansing, and oddly beautiful. And then, just a few days later, comes another curious ritual, La Quema del Año Viejo, the burning of the old year. People build life-size dolls out of straw and old clothes, sometimes resembling politicians or celebrities, and at midnight, they set them on fire. It's dramatic, loud, and deeply symbolic, a way to destroy bad energy and start fresh. If you think that's intense, wait until August. Every year, during the coldest days, many Argentines, including some in Buenos Aires, perform the ritual of drinking caña con ruda, sugarcane alcohol mixed with the bitter herb roux. They drink it on August 1st, at sunrise, to ward off evil and sickness. The saying goes, Julio los prepara, agosto se los lleva. July prepares them, August takes them. So they drink to survive the month. Bars even offer special shots that morning, and old-timers swear it really works. It's a tradition that comes from indigenous Guarani customs, now woven seamlessly into city life. But maybe the most fascinating ritual of all happens quietly, every Sunday afternoon. Families gather for asado, the Argentine barbecue. It's not just about food, it's ceremony. The fire is lit slowly, the meat cooked patiently, the host watching every ember. There's laughter, wine, and endless conversation. Everyone has an opinion about how to season the meat, when to turn it, and which cut is best. It's a ritual of time and togetherness, an act of love that turns cooking into culture. In Buenos Aires, these traditions, from drinking mate to honoring saints to burning the old year, reveal something deeper about the city's soul. It's a place where logic and emotion dance together, where superstition lives comfortably beside modern life, and where even the strangest customs are performed with heart and pride. Because here, rituals aren't just habits. They're poetry, they're resistance, they're a way of saying, we remember who we are. So if you ever find yourself in Buenos Aires, don't just watch. Join in, share the mate, cheer at a football match, touch the bronze paw in Recoleta, tear up a piece of paper on New Year's Eve and let it fall into the street. Because in this city, every gesture, no matter how small or strange, tells a story that's been alive for centuries. And the only way to understand Buenos Aires is to live those rituals for yourself. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. Feel free to share it with a friend who loves a good mystery. And if you haven't already, please subscribe so you won't miss the next story. There's a lot more to uncover, and I'd love to have you along for the journey.